So we're going to be starting, but before we start, we need to put ourselves into groups. So what name would you like to name yourself? This group. One name.
Transformation.
Transformation. Why? So this group. Innovation. So everybody is shun. Okay, so before we get into any group activity, the most important thing is that you will first of all have to take care after one another. If your phone rings during the session, it's minus 200. If your phone rings during the session, it's minus 200. When we go on tea break or lunch break and you don't get back in on time, minus 500. So the whole team must be on set at the time. We're going to give you time. So when we go for lunch, you'll be sure that all your team members get back on time. Then we also have a game that we're going to be playing, and it's called the Zenga game. Mr. Maxwell, you're not supposed to be. And then that also has its own score, right? So at the end of the day, the group that wins will be celebrated. Only. All right. So and then of course during the course of the training, we are going to be having a lot of interactions, and we want us to interact. And like I said, it is actually a workshop. So we are not here to just be dumping things over your head or just to talk all through. We want to engage your minds such that when you are leaving with the templates and something that you can work with almost immediately. So there is still an accountability and coaching program afterwards, but we'll discuss that towards the end of the program. So we have two sections. We have someone that is going to be taking the first section. It happens to be my systems and process coach. And one thing he always says that as consultants, we have a little bit of flaw. We take care of other people's businesses at the expenses of ours. How true is that? So is this kind of person that is always fighting me and is always ensuring that while I'm taking care of other people's businesses, my own business is not suffering. By the way, I have my executive assistant. She just walked in. Ayola, can you wave your hand? So please, if you need anything, she will definitely be of help. So what did you say? What is 4 million?
You said nothing.
Because of this workshop. So once again, I want to say thank you so much. This is the maiden edition, and it was a lot having to pull this together. And I really want to, clap if you want to clap. And I really want to thank everybody in the room, because when you have done it 1 year, 2 years, people are like, okay, we know her, let's go there, and all that. But when it's the first time you are getting to do something and you have a group of people that believe so much in you and are ready not just to say, our prayers are with you, our thoughts are with you. I mean, I have a host of angels and a host of people saying that. If I write that this morning, it's a success already. All those things. But when you have people that says, oh, I'm not just only going to encourage her with words, I'm also going to be invested in my time, which is, in fact, a lot more valuable than even the money that we paid. I can't thank you enough. I'm very, very, very grateful. So I have Sir Daniel, Coach Daniel. Sir Daniel, let's meet you. So like I said, that's my systems and process coach, and he's going to be taking the first session. But before I call him up, like I said, I met him precisely a year, a month now, and he's more than a coach. Let me put it that way. And I've said several times, as at the time I met him, I was just recovering from a major mental health crisis, and at that point, my business was almost aground. Because I've had to expend, when you are still calculating, it's because you are healthy. But by the time, I've had to do a lot of sessions with psychologists, psychotherapists, had to travel to Abuja. I mean, everything just went into like a thin air. And I was like, where do I start from? What do I do? I barely had like 50,000 to my name. From millions, everything just, and we got to meet on a volunteer group, that's Teach for Nigeria, and it was a virtual session. We were not even given opportunities to introduce ourselves, interestingly, but I've always, so the class has started like sincerely, but I've always had this, so whenever you are in a high network virtual conference, make sure you ask a question. Did we get it? So you may want to start taking the workshop has started. Make sure you ask a question. And just before you ask your question, you know what you should do? Introduce yourself. Because they don't have a choice. They have to listen to you. So I just raised up my hand and I introduced myself and I was like, oh, really? Before we knew it, it went inbox, the way you can chat backyard on Zoom. And we just connected. And by the time Coach D was done with me last year, we were hitting close to over 10 million. And I was like, are you for real? And then that was where the whole idea came, that I could actually share this knowledge. I could actually let people know what happened, and how, how everything has been able to come on. So, basically, that's just what I'm going to be doing for the introduction. And then he's going to be coming here to take us on the main first session. And like I said, so don't worry, there's still going to be a place where we are going to really, really get to meet ourselves. But his aspect is a bit technical, right? And that's why I said a bit. So please don't, like the Barrister Gaga said, I'm saying audit, I'm saying. I said a bit technical, and that's why I had to say, okay, I think while we are still very fresh, and then my own aspect is how to make the money. So that one you wake up, whether you like it or not. Even if it's in the evening, you wake up whether you like it or not. But his own aspect is a bit technical. But I said a bit, but one beautiful thing about Coach Daniel, he has a way of simplifying things. Things that looks like, and I'm like, are you for real? I mean, I've been to Cherry Blair, I've been on Cherry Blair Mentoring Women program in the UK, have had the opportunity to also join the Lagos State Chambers of Commerce and Industry. And it's the same thing I was looking for. Let me be able to put this business together in such a way that it will begin to work for me. It's not as if they didn't do anything, but it was like they're speaking Spanish. So as at the time I met Coach D, all the other knowledge I had wasn't a total waste of time. But I was able to make connections and we're able to do a lot of things easily. And sincerely, before we knew what was happening, we started helping a lot of other people virtually, and we became not just coach and coachee or mentor and mentee, we also became business partners. So that's just the beautiful thing. So please, let's make welcome my own, I used to call it my personal, I could be so, how would I, selfish with him. And he goes like, what's that, Coach, Dr. T, that's the name he calls me.
Give me some energy. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Okay, so let's touch on what Dr. Twain just said briefly about when you're in a high network gathering. It's very crucial, imperative that you actually do network. And you should actually have a networking goal and target, because you never really know. So she just sped past the story, but to make it, bring it full circle. Now, we're a Teach for Nigeria mentorship program, a fellowship. We're supposed to mentor your fellows. And at the end of the program, Dr. Tony asked the question, and she introduced herself perfectly. She was like, I'm the CEO of this. I'm also a special advisor to the Institute of Coaching and Consulting. At that point, I was like, okay, is there really an Institute of Coaching and Consulting? Okay, so quickly as possible. It was a virtual event, but you never miss those opportunities to just, okay, I want to know more about the Institute of Coaching and Consulting. I sent her a personal message on Zoom, and then of course, as quickly as possible, she replied, sent her number. One thing you know about Dr. T is she's a sharpshooter, very swift, and she attacks aggressively. So, sent her a message as quickly as possible. Before after the event, I just sent her a message on WhatsApp. She has sent me all the flyers and everything. I say, okay. She's like, can I call you? I'm like, okay. And then boom, she called me on WhatsApp, and interestingly, she introduced the institute to me. And of course, I introduced what I do to her. And then she was like, you know what, I need you. I've been looking for someone like you. Can we meet? What's your calendar like? Let's book Thursday, 2 weeks time. I will set it up. I'm like, that was really fast. That's a sharpshooter. People like that, people with that kind of attitude, get the job done. So, what's the backstory to this? The backstory to this is, whenever you're in a workshop, if you're not ready to work, there's no point coming. Right? Because most of the time, your ROI is as quickly as you can execute. The faster you put into action what you've learned in the workshop. The workshop is done in such a way that it's supposed to charge you up, trigger you, make you very uncomfortable. So it will be very unfair to yourself making such investment, coming here, and then the next 2, 3, 4 days, 1 week, you go back to your routine. So the point here is this. As you've come here, also make that mental switch in your mind that you need to block certain hours of the coming days to further immerse yourself in what you've learned. Because most of these things are not rocket science. They are done from execution. So as you execute, as you reach out, as you stay accountable, that's where the win is. So everybody's looking for the quick fix. What's the top 5 steps, top 3 steps, top 1 step, and it goes on, and then guess what? They make that income, and then they go back to where they're coming from again. There's no structure, there's no system, there's no process. So they make that quick contract, boom, and then they can't make another one again, and they go back to earning 6 digits. So now, in this session today, like she said, it's not technical in that sense. I make everything as simple as possible because there's no point speaking all the technical jargon and nobody gets anything. So in this session, you will learn how to possibly review, evaluate, forget the word audit, review and evaluate your business and, in quotes, yourself. All right? So let's get right to it. So like I said, my name is Daniel Ginedera. I am a business strategist and a consultant, senior auditor with Ernst & Young. If you're not familiar with Ernst & Young, Ernst & Young is one of the top biggest 4 professional firms in the world. And of course, CEO of QAG Consult. We do corporate branding, consulting, coaching. And of course, I'm a co-founder of Premium Gets and all of that. So let's not waste time on that. So here are some of the companies we've personally worked with. You can see some of your favorite brands here. Some are familiar, some are not familiar. These are just a few. I don't want to bore you with all of this. GT Bank, Union Bank, Absa Capital Market, Total Energies, Amazon, Domino's Pizza, Olam Nigeria, Jubilee Syringe Manufacturing Company, SKG Pharmaceuticals, Kewaram Group, Fitson, GZEC, Diversity, Tenax Marine Limited. These are companies, and a lot more, quite a number, that we've worked with directly. And the difference between these businesses and your businesses is system structures and processes. And they are disciplined to executing on them. So now, the objective of this session, like I said, is to successfully carry out your business audit, set, track, and smash your business goals, automate your business finances, budgeting, creating sales forecast to enhance decision making, write business structures and systems, and a well-defined and effective marketing strategy. So that said, we've gotten the jargons out of the way. Now let's get right into the business of the day. So are you still excited?
Yes.
Are you still pumped up?
Yeah.
Can I get the high five? Can I get the hands raised? Are you still pumped up? All right, fantastic. All right, good. So now, the first thing, like I said, is if you don't measure anything, you cannot improve it. Let's cut to the chase. There's really no point. If I come to you today and I ask you what's the state of your business and you can't provide hard evidence, whether it's an e-format or a physical document of the state of your business, you are not yet running a business. Because until you see the trends, the patterns, over a period of time, you will not change. That's the reality. So most of the time when I'm working with clients, the first thing I want to do is I want to create systems and structures that would help us track over a period of time. Some people don't wake up until they see numbers. Some people don't wake up until they track their goals and their business metrics. So if you don't measure, you can't manage it. If you don't measure, you can't scale it. If you don't measure, you don't care about growing your business. If you don't measure, you don't care about scaling your business. If you don't measure, you really are not running a business. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Can we really agree on that?
Yeah.
So the question I want to ask now is, how many of you track your business finances here? Can I see your hands up? How many of you have a system in place to track your business finances? Good. How many of you have a system in place for goal setting? Good. How many of you have a system in place for measuring your goals? Good. I'm seeing some hands are not raised and some hands are raised. Can I see your hands raised above your head?
It depends on what you mean by measuring. So some of us measure,
Okay.
but maybe not perfectly measured to the books. So when you say measure, words like that mean differently from me.
Okay, great. Okay, so for example, when I met Dr. Toyin, she was actually tracking her finances. She had an Excel spreadsheet, but data without insight is pretty useless. You can agree. So you cannot be tracking Excel. There's really no information.
Yes.
There's nothing.
No differences.
So yes, so there's no trend, there's no pattern, there's nothing. I just see, I bought this one, I did this one, I got this one. That's not really tracking of your finances. It's the over. Yes, good, beautiful. Yes, you're excellently right. So, but at least what made it easy for Dr. T, why we were able to move that quickly was she had done lots of trainings, done lots of workshops. It was just that bridging the gap between and bringing all of those knowledge full circle into implementable and actionable steps. So our journey was, and she was a sharpshooter as well, right? So now she had the data, all of them on the Excel, all mumped up. So what we did was create an automated financial system that brought the data to life. And from that point on, she could see her income, right? In fact, let's not go too far. Let me just quickly show you this before. Okay, now for example, this is a dummy file. This is a dummy file, as you can see. So if you look at this right here, is it clear enough? Is it clear enough? Okay, now you can see that all of those data, if you don't get to a point where you can see a summarized view at a glance, as the CEO, you're just playing. Right? This is just a very basic example of a data. So now see January, see your income. February, see the income. And then now see the business expenses for that month. And then see the so-called profit you say you had. And see the percentage of the profits over the income. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then also, if you come here again at the end of the year, you can say categorically that you made 56 million, you spent 29 million, and your profit was 27 million, which was 48% gross profit margin. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if I invest in your business, there's a huge chance that you can give me 40% on the average ROI. That gives you an idea of, are you running a business or are you running charity? But if you just pick 1 month, or you scatter the information, you really don't know if you're running a business. I hope that makes sense. So without data, you can see the trend here. You see the income, business, everything, profit. If you see the trend here, it makes more sense. Now, let's dive in even deeper. So now, you said you made 2.whatever million, 57 million. Where did it come from? You need to ascertain. Because you don't have just one income stream. You have multiple. What's the cash cow? What's bringing you the most money? What's taking the most time? Is it worth it? Do I need to invest my time in that? So now if you look at this now, you see that education consulting is giving you about 30 million for the full year, right? You see that training is giving you about 12 million. Partnership is giving you about 9 million. If you come here, event management, other income, all these things. Speaking engagement, 1.6. So now where really do you want to pump in your profit? Where do you want to pump in your investment? Where do you want to pump in partnership? Where do you want to pump in collaborations? So this would further help you make more informed decisions, because this already is giving you 24% of the entire income. So if at any point you're getting stressed during the year, you already know for a fact that, let me just be holding this one first. Let me not get distracted. Let me hold this one. This one is by this top 3, this is my cash cow. Let me not overly get overwhelmed with these guys here. So numbers tell the story. And without an automated system, where you just come in, just plug it, and go. You're not doing anything. Just come in and punch it. I made 50 million from this. You get out. But this populates automatically. And you get to see this. So when you come in as a CEO at the end of every week, end of every month, end of every quarter, you have an holistic view of your business without stressing your brain. And because a small business is you most of the time, or maybe 1 or 2 support system. So you will need a system that helps you make decisions outside of you. I don't know if that makes sense. So something that just gives you those things without you having to think or lie to yourself. Now, also your expenses. Where is the chunk of my expenses going to? Big question. So I spent 29.2 million this year on business expenses, right? Where exactly did the money go? There's really no point, lying to yourself, fooling around, making it make sense in your head. Do you understand? It's when you can lie to yourself to sleep well at night. Do you get it? So you just try, it's a lie. It's a big lie. So when you just have the discipline, first, get the automated system. Second, the discipline to populate. It will eventually make sense. So now, when you now see that, look at this. Interesting. See, personal expenses, 7.4 million. When you're collecting salary here, you have to kill the business. I just put this here. So most of the time, as a small business, you will keep borrowing business money, not understanding the implication, a whooping 25% on just your own frivolities. See your marketing expense, 2 points, whatever, but you borrowed 7.4. You borrowed 7.4. And you call yourself the CEO. Are you the CEO or the killer of the business? So now, opportunity will come by for you to invest in yourself, for you to invest in the business, and you think it's too big because you feel like there's no money. But guess what? You are the person killing it there. But if you don't see this trend over a sustainable period of time, year on year, quarterly, monthly, it will not make sense to you. You will lie to yourself constantly. That's human nature. We always find a way to make it make sense, even though it's to our detriment. So now, once you have this data, you see all of this salary. So now you can now make informed decision. Is the salary I'm paying out, is it reasonable? Does it make sense? Am I shooting myself in the leg? Or can I give myself a raise? Based off on data-driven business decision-making platforms. So, like I said, it's not technical, but it could be if you want to make it so. All you simply need to do is every single day, as you incur your income, as you incur your expenses, just plug it in. And over a period of time, have someone that holds you accountable, especially the CEO. We lie to ourselves. Have someone that you are answerable to, who will be like a sounding board for you. What happened? Sorry, my children was going to school. When? Do you understand me? How much is sitting in the business, in the account of the business? So these are examples of things we'll be discussing today. I just do a quick nosedive into example of what it looks like and how it could make sense. And all of this will not take you on a daily basis 5-10 minutes, because you're not running a restaurant business that you're coming in every day, or you're running a delivery business that you're giving it 1K a year. Your expenses are pretty centered around the basics, so there's really nothing in that sense to worry about. So now, let's get right into it. So now, like I said, if we want to make money, and want to make money sustainably over a long period of time, the smart and most effective thing to do is to what? Go back and evaluate what brought you to this point. Because if we just start building from nowhere, anything can just come and, crumble the entire thing. So the smart thing, whenever you're starting the year, starting the quarter, starting the, the month, it's always very important that you take a step back and genuinely evaluate. Genuinely evaluate. The key word here is genuine. Genuinely evaluate yourself. Evaluate the business. That will give you a clearer view and to expose you to where you need help and what you're doing well. So evaluation is not to shoot you in the leg or say you're not doing well, like exams, just to make you feel bad. It's pretty much to help you figure out what's working and what's not working. Help you figure out where you need to improve. So now, what's a business audit? A business is a documented evaluation of your business processes, performance, and finance over a period of time. Now, the difference between this and what everybody normally does is we do our evaluations in our head. Right? We evaluate ourselves in our head or on a scattered document that we will throw around the house or one year jota somewhere. You pumped up like this, you'll be like, I've done workshop, what's going on like this? If I ask you 2 months after, where is it? Nowhere to be found. Mistakes galore. So now when you're doing a business, just like the big companies, the GT banks, the whatever, there's always a financial and detailed system in place. Year on year. Every single year, every single quarter, you can refer to it. It's not something that you print out, something that you would keep in your Google Drive, something that you will store, because you need to keep looking at yourself over and again. So all of those fired up energy bursts, where you just take and just go and quickly do something, and then 3 months after you are back where you left off. No reference point to what you did because there's no system in place. So the difference with this business audit is there will be a Google document where you'll be updating quarterly at least over a period of time, right? And in this document, your business will be broken down into the major segments. Maybe financial department, let's just assume financial department, marketing, sales, product development, all of those, because it's pretty much consulting. So the stakes are not so high, the risk is limited, right? So that's what the business audit does. It's a documented, keyword here is what? Documented. You can reference it on a consistent basis. Let's not fool ourselves here. If it's not documented, it's not done. If you cannot reference it, it's not done. If it doesn't add value to you after 6 months, you didn't do anything. Right? And what better way to keep yourself in check than keeping it on the cloud? where if you like move your house, if you like do this one, it's there waiting for you. Anytime you feel pumped up, and it's not going to take space, it's not going to take anything. If you like print it out, but you still have a copy backed up. That will give you a sense of, you're moving forward. And at different points in time, as you evaluate, you know the areas you're focusing on. You have 10 areas that you highlighted, but this quarter we're focusing on just 2. Let's not shoot ourselves in the leg. I don't know if that makes sense. So it's a document. That's the only difference. Like I'm telling you now, like the data part now, data is useless without automation and getting insight. You are doing the same thing, but you're not getting results. You're evaluating your business, you're auditing, you're evaluating, but you're not getting results because you don't have a system in place to do it over a period of time for it to make sense. So that if at all you've done that, when you meet a coach or a consultant or someone you can pick their brain, you already know where to target. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes.
Now, to perform a business audit, just 3 major steps to simplify it, right? The first step is, where are you right now? It's very simple. Where are you right now? Simple keyword, genuinely. Keyword, genuinely. Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's be honest. Where are you right now? Are you willing to be naked? Are you willing to be vulnerable? Are you willing to tell yourself the hard truth? Are you willing to look at, because I notice that people find it very difficult to do that. Most times, this question is so difficult that you need someone to hold your hand to answer it. I'm telling you, no jokes. It's so funny that when I started my coaching and consulting, it used to take my time. If I sit down with clients to start to evaluate this, it was taking too much time. So when I started, I created Google Docs and everything, Google Sheets and forms, for them to at least do the preliminary work. So they will evaluate on their own. Now when they evaluate, do the skeletal work, when we now start do the re-evaluation, it will be different information. So what I try to do is that I'll keep the one they did, keep it aside so they will know that they didn't do anything. Then the second one, when we drill down, ask better question, and to get better insight, you now see that it's so parallel. That's how the human brain works. It will always try to shield you from pain. It will just make it make sense so that you can stay comfortable. It doesn't want to stretch you. And that's the human mind for you. So you must have an ongoing and sustained system to edge that. So now you might wonder why people like Bill Gates still have coaches. It's crazy. They are the biggest guys in the world. Why people like Oprah still have coaches? They have speech coach, they have publicity coach, they have personal development coach, they have this one. Some of the biggest traders in the world, biggest CEOs, they have people that want to. Bill Clinton, president of the US at the time, Tony Robbins was his coach. Why? I thought you are the alpha and omega in that sense, in your space. But what does that do? It's just, once you know that you have some sort of weakness, blind spot, the smart thing to do is invest in things that will help you edge it. So it looks as if you're not having problems because you're the guiding through, scaling light. Meanwhile, you've already outsourced your weakness. There's no point trying to be the best in your weakness. It's pointless. Just manage it. Then be the best in your strength. But edge it out by investing in things that would edge that weakness out. So that's why it's funny. So when you want to fool yourself into thinking you don't need a coach or a consultant or an accountability partner, remember, the best of the best also have that. So you're not bigger than that. Because at every point in time, you will hit a roadblock. At every point in time, you get emotional and scatter the information in your head. At every point in time, you will get overwhelmed. At every point in time, your brain will just be stuck. And sometimes you just need a sounding board, someone to just talk to. And then, Mary. Why did I think this way? It now makes sense. But why do you need to have that once in 3 years? Does that even make any sense? Why not do that once a week? Once in 2 weeks? So as you go along, you have that mechanism resting in your corner to help you ascertain when you're going off track. And it's always very important that you don't do it with your friends. People that already know you. They know all the details. They can help you make excuse. They're like, I will tell you on my show. I will tell you, is your husband that? Oh, that's true. I understand. Anyway, leave the money. you just what? Outsource more problems. No jokes. You would need a place where you can hear the hard truth on an ongoing basis. Even though you will not implement today, let that hard truth be supplying you energy, be giving you injection. It might not be useful today, but just have a system in place where you are perpetually being evaluated, like when you were in school. There's tests, there's exam, there's assignment. You need to put yourself back in that childlike state where you are perpetually under pressure. Good pressure in that sense. Because at the end of the day, if you're not under pressure for good thing, bad thing will come and take the pressure. So cuckoo orchestrate your pressure. It's as simple as that. Orchestrate the pressure. So that when you're like, okay, if I surmount this, I'll move forward. As opposed to just lying down and life like, this guy has been resting for too long. Oh yeah, give him something. You get? But if you're considering your pressure, you're too busy solving big problems. So when distractions even come, they will not take as much space as they normally would. So it's imperative, like I said, that this question, when you get to a point where it feels like it doesn't make any sense, it feels like, it's all rosy, something is wrong, I'm doing the wrong thing. Because this is where you genuinely tell yourself the truth. And this is the start point to the journey of making 7 figures on an ongoing basis. Keyword, ongoing, sustainable, continuous, replicatable. Right? First, evaluate. Where are you right now? Second is, where do you want to go? Where exactly do you want to go? So if you don't set a target, then how then do we know when we've arrived there? It's ridiculous. Now you've determined where you are. The next thing is what? Where do you want to go? We need to set the target, set the goal, set the objective. Understand that, okay, now we're making 2 million. The goal is to make 10, 15 million on an ongoing basis. Target. Now we're servicing just 4 businesses. The goal is to service what? 10 in the next 2 quarters. Right? Specifically. No gay saying, no vague talk, no crap. Just truth. You know where you are. You know the systems you have in place. You know what that system can generate. So you can now, based off on that, you set the next phase goal. You can have the long, big picture goal, but then, of course, it's always good to set those short-term ones that keep you going while you're anticipating getting the long-term goal. Now, the third one is, how do you get there? That's where you now strategize. You know where you were. You know where you want to go. The next thing is what? You can now what? Sit down and strategize to the T. Right? You strategize to the T. Now, how can auditing help you? Of course, there's no gay saying that it will, of course, help you become more efficient. It will help you access opportunity, increase your productivity, and all of that. So let's not sleep on that. So now, this is the kicker here. The kicker is this. You're a small business. You're a startup. You don't have up to 10 or 15 or 20 staff or 30. So at the end of the day, most of the chunk of the work will still boil down to you. You are still at the center of the center of the center of the business. Can we agree?
Yes.
Can we agree?
Yes.
Can we agree?
Yes.
Good. So now, if we don't talk about you, we can't talk about the business. Let's be honest. It's pointless. Because when your matter starts, the business will suffer.
True.
When yourself call for attention, the business would take the back seat. So everything still boils down to you. You're here today investing in what? You. Which would translate to what? The business. So first, let's assess you as an individual. Right? So now, the big question is, where were you in the last 3 years? If you can just take a mental picture. This 2023. Right? Let's say 2020 or 2019. Oh, yeah, true. I totally did that. At that time, where exactly were you? If you can just, take a step back and just look at it. Where exactly were you in your finances? Are you still earning the same? around the same amount? Where were you in terms of your network? Are people around you, have they changed? Are they the same? Think about it. Where are you right now? Have you taken any giant step in the last 3 years? Giant leaps. Where you were palpitating. Where you're making some investment that scared the hell out of you. Where you jumped out of your comfort zone. In the last 3 years, think about it. It's important for you to pause and reflect. Don't get carried away with life. Because the next 3 years will still come again and you'll be shocked and unhappy. So in the last 3 years, 365 days times 3, nothing fundamental has changed. You need to ask those questions, honestly. Think about it. What were you earning in 2020 or 2019 in that sense? Is it the same as today? What's the percentage increase? Let's put percentage there. Say 20% increase, 30% increase. If it's 2030, inflation has already scattered the money. You are earning the same thing. I don't know if you get the point. So if you're earning, say, hypothetically 1 million in 2020, 2021, and you say you're earning 1.5 now, technically you're still earning 1 million because inflation has, in fact, you're earning less, let's be honest. So have you really moved forward? So now, if before you could generate on your own, you could marshal 5 million in 2020, can you marshal 15 million this year now? That have you grown capacity? So what skill did you have then? What skill did you have now? Can you articulate in clear terms the investment you've made for you? Not anybody else, you. Not the children, you. Not the business, you. Can you articulate any trainings, anything? What have you done to at least set yourself up for success? Can you think of anything? Those are the major questions you need to ask. Because 3 years is coming again. And if you are not careful, you will replicate the same result. You just have those slight incremental progress, but nothing to show for it in that sense. So it's important that we make these deductions, ask these questions, reflect, pause, excuse yourself, go on a retreat. Take the time off. Answer those questions, then have an accountability partner to talk through, to drill down. Because I think for me, that extra at the end is where the juice is. You doing it by yourself and just sitting down and just doing. Somehow, your mind has a way of just shutting down the information again. You do it, you feel bad. And then just some life will just happen. Maybe someone just did the wedding. You have to prepare for the wedding. And then boom, you forgot you did something. But having that accountability partner helps you double check again at the end of the month. Are you really sure this is where you want to be? Are you really sure you don't want to go for that event? So when you strip everything down, your decision making will become a lot easier. So when opportunity to invest in yourself comes, you start to look at in the last 3 years, me anything no. Let me do this. So it makes it easier to take more risk. Makes it easier to want to network. When you realize that in the last 3 years, you just have the same people around you. So you will not lie to yourself, I'm an introvert. That's a big lie. You will stay the same way. So that's the point I'm making. So like I said, you are the art of the business, right? So where were you then? Where were you right now, right? What skills do you have now? What other skills have you accumulated over a period of time? Those are key and material questions you need to answer. Because for me, that is what will help us know whether you are really growing or you have plateaued or you are stuck. You're no longer moving. You've arrived at your bus stop. You have a house you're staying that you built. You have the car, and that's enough. Really, is that life? There's more to life. So that's that. So now, going back to now the actual reason why we're here, which is the business of consult. So now I've streamlined the major departments you should have, because as a business, from the ground up, You need to set the business up from scratch. Know that, I have different departments. We're just 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. But you should know that your business is grouped into about 5 departments. There's the financial department, where the income, the expenses, the profit, data-driven decision making are done. Right? Now, you have the sales and marketing, which is the lifeblood of the business. Let's not fool ourselves. If you don't market or sell, where would the money come from? It's ridiculous. So you need to know that that's a department on its own, standalone. Big businesses, they have a big department. They are not just marketing. They are away from everybody. Their job is just go bring the business. There's the financial department. Their job is just to what expense are you incurring? Sizable team. Right? There's the marketing department, there's the financial department, and of course, product development. You're consulting, but you should have products, you should have services, you should have combo, you should have packages, you should have, that's a department on its own. In big businesses, there's a department for just creating that. So as you are portioning your time across board, finances, you can just automate it. That one, that one, low-key. Sales and marketing, you can find a way to put systems in place to further make it easy for you because it's an ongoing thing. So anything that you do consistently, create systems that make it easy for you. Don't always do the same. Don't rack your brain too much. So if you're doing the same thing, try to see a way you can automate some parts, outsource some parts that you don't like, that are difficult for you. Partner people that have the strengths there, right? And of course, partnership, which is where people miss a lot of things. Partnership, collaborating. Sometimes you can't do it alone, let's be honest. Because your strength is someone's weakness. Someone's weakness is also your strength. So there has to be a system in place where you go out to locate network, go out to partner, go out to collaborate in such a way that you can build your pipeline and your network. So partnership could boil down to doing free stuff for this person, doing this for this person, doing this for this person, and all of that. Partnership. We'll get into that much later. And of course, last but not least, ongoing SWOT analysis of the business, which is more or less like evaluating the business on an ongoing basis. All right? Are we still here?
Yes.
Are we still pumped up? Are we still energetic?
Yeah.
What? Can someone just tell me what has been the major highlight so far? What point eats you the most? Why now? Talk to me about it. Let me hear. Talk to me. Talk to me about it.
If you don't document it, you can't manage it.
Interesting. What has been your major point so far?
What have you achieved in the last 3 years? Where were you? Where are you coming from? What have you gained?
Interesting.
And I'm looking at myself that, I did big cake. Somebody should give me a malao. I've broken the ground.
Okay, so what would you say has been your highlight so far?
So, bro, you need to learn continuously.
Amazing.
Okay, so for me, I think the point is when you said being a state where you're always under constant evaluation.
Good.
And always put yourself in a place that there's pressure around you.
Good.
So I think that's for me the highlight of this.
Fantastic.
When you stop lying to yourself. Of course, it's a lot different in the past. But this year, I've decided not to lie to myself, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here.
Amazing.
And it still hits me. It's just
Amazing. What about you, sir?
Yeah, so for me, it's how would you get to where you want to get to, which is summarized in one word: strategy.
Beautiful. Amazing. So thanks so much for your contribution so far.
For me, I think
No, listen.
I did not just come. I'm trying to learn. The next thing we just try. So let me be a gentleman and just allow it. Thank you so much. My name is Okaga Movie.
Okay, amazing.
I am a lawyer by training, a teacher by call, and I run a consulting outfit.
Amazing.
University actually.
Okay.
And today my senior and my friend, she asked that she shared some insights come. And I'm at this point where I do a lot. I do amazing work. I don't brag. There's something that you're bragging rights. No. I think I would say that anybody doing visual consulting in Edo State who does leadership in Edo State, you don't have leaders in it. It's not correct. I would say that, but I'm not making money.
Interesting.
I have powerful ideas. When I stepped into education, it was passion. I have a product for student leadership that I have done for a decade.
Interesting.
A decade.
Yeah.
Are you for real?
So I've done it. When I started bringing students together in those states, government does not want to help it. I go to public schools, private schools, put them together. My funds, my friends and family, borrow and all that. And, yes, I think I sustain myself more from being a lawyer because I still do. You're a lawyer, but I am not
Practicing a lot, yeah.
You are able to do your law. So when I started seeing the street, I think I'm at that point where I want to be able to put a hand on my business. Okay, this is what's doing, and this is where. So I look forward to starting that talk.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, just to touch on what you said quickly. So now this is the thing. So when I meet clients, right, all they have is ideas in their head, and they mix business with passion, right? So, and then they don't have a working strategy towards eating the money. So now, for someone that does child leadership, blah, 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 all those kind of things, ever thought of putting yourself out there for grants? Right? So there are agencies out there that are willing and able to sponsor these things. But are you willing to learn how? That's the bigger question. Or are you still stuck on I'm just happy to gather people. It excites me. They make me happy. As I just jump around, I'm happy, I'm excited. Or do I want to actually make it work? Sustainable for myself. Because it's not fair if I'm giving so much and getting nothing. It's not sustainable. Only a matter of time, you burn out.
Yeah.
So anything that doesn't put something inside of you you have to be watered. It doesn't serve you. So now the key is this. Where people make the mistake, generally, is they don't model. Right? The same thing you're doing, someone else is doing it in a very different way. And they're making a killing. So is your ego small enough to go and learn how to make that passion a business? So that now you're not energetic. You can imagine when you're doing something that you love and you're getting 10 million. You see the energy and passion. You even attract more people. You'll be so pumped up. So now the difference is this. People just have those ideas in their head. They don't do the mathematics. Oh, I want to be teaching maybe mathematics or whatever. Okay. The question I ask them is, how can you make your first million in 1 month? You get stuck. I want to be teaching okay, fine. I hear you. How can you make 1 million in 1 month from this? They now sit down and say, if Daddy Shadi tell me to come and teach Shadi 30,000. Is this one say I want 25,000? So I need over how many people? So does that make sense? Is that where you want to find yourself? How many can you do? So people don't think. They are just hyped up. And guess what? Most of those ideas, sometimes they are not our own. You bought it somewhere along the line. So it's still your job to logically bring those things down to numbers. That's where your mind will leave you. Once you make things plain on paper, using numbers, right? There's a part of you that wakes up. Because now your emotions don't have grip anymore. Your logical side kicks in. So now, when you have ideas, beautiful. Have an idea bank. An ongoing document where you just jump your ideas, beautiful. Then have strategy days. where you sit down and group them. This one is passion. This one I'm not sure I can bring one. I'm not sure. This one I can do it in my free time. Because at the end of the day, when you are 40, 50, 60, what would they ask you? What have you done with your life? What have you really done? Nobody really cares, let's be honest. When you have result, they will listen. Do you understand? So if you invest the chunk of your, I don't know, your youth days, where you have strength in the wrong things. People that did the national anthem, did the national flag, where are they today? Do you understand? So it's only in movies you see that, someone will remember you after 10 years or 30 years, you'll be in New York and just like, there's one teacher somewhere, hey, let him not help. This is a car. This is really your own rescue, really.
1 out of
Yes! 1 out of a million. Only happens most times in movies. I see when you're older, you're 80 or 85. That you start, someone now remember you, what do you want to enjoy in that? So if you don't set yourself up by yourself, you're not fooling yourself. The faster you set it up, the faster your voice will be stronger. The more impact you will have. So you put eye behind helping people that are less privileged or whatever, so that they don't look at their own self. So the truth is this, like I said, evaluating yourself. So when you get stuck in those, just know that you need someone that you need to be accountable to, so you don't always enter that loop, because it's an habit pattern, it's a mental thing. So you need to have that constant person getting you out of it, because you're already used to it. So when you see yourself always getting to that thing, no. And then the easiest way to evaluate a business or an idea is do the numbers. How can I make 2 million, 3 million in 1 month from doing this? What do I have to do? Okay, I need 30 people paying me 5,000. I need 50 people paying me this. I need 100 people paying me this. Oh, I need this. I need that. When you now look at it, you're like, can I really do it? Well, I'm just catching close. How much of my time is this taking? Actively. You want to move from active to passive income, where you set up systems that actually bring that money to you. So in cases like this, just having partners, grants, NGOs that you establish to warehouse funds, because the same proposal, I used to get money here, can you get money here too? Same proposal. So can you learn how to go and write grants? Are you patient enough to play that game? Where you dedicate. Thank you! Life is not this deep. Are you willing to make that investment? I also say you bring 500K to write proposal. Are you willing to make that investment in yourself? But then, because you know that when the grant of like $10,000, $50,000 come in, bam, it comes in once and is waiting. Right? So can you also have that long-term strategy ongoing on the side? So there are different ways to kill a rat. But are you willing to sit down to think and then categorize them? This one is short-term, this one is long-term. But you must be able to put it to paper. How can I make this money in this window? What do I have to do? Put it to paper. So that when your mind wants to race tomorrow, we've done the math already, come back. I'm not going anywhere again. Let's look at this. So another thing people miss is that they keep thinking. They don't continue thinking. So now you're here today now. You get to, you're all pumped up again. Start thinking from scratch. No. Have a Google document. I find Google because anywhere you are, you can utilize it. So you've thought about this, you've done the math for this already. So tomorrow when your mind is trying to bombard you again, instead of thinking from scratch, go back there and continue thinking. Force the guy to focus. So that the extra, you don't 20% thinking, so you can do 25%. So you keep building on an existing model. You don't keep thinking again. You will achieve nothing. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, now let's get back to the business. All right, so for the finances, we've talked about this extensively. So basic question you can ask, how's the financial health of your business? Are you in debt? How many income streams do you have? Whether it's making money or not, what are the income streams? I highlight it first. Whether you found a way to make it work or not, no. What are the income streams? I highlight it. What's the average monthly business income? Not the one that you just got a contract today, the next 8 months, nothing. So what's the average income? You have to highlight it. What's the average expenses? Business finance spent on. What's the average expenses? What are the assets you have? Your laptop, maybe you have the space you have is your own. What are the assets? Put numbers to it. You have laptops, you have printers, you have generator, whatever. What are the business assets? What are the liabilities? Do you have loans? Are you owing your staff salary? Whatever. What are the assets? Are you owing yourself salary? It's possible. The business can owe you. If you have an actual amount that you're supposed to be paid by your business, you've articulated, okay, every month I'm being paid 1 million from the business. And then in 3 months, business does not make 1 kobo. Technically, in the books of the business, they have a liability of 3 million. So that you know that the business is real or not. So because at the end of the day, if you remove yourself and put someone there, we're not going the person. So in your books, there should be a liability there. So you know that you're running a business or charity. Or you're fooling around. So all of this can only happen when you have someone you are accountable to. You just make it make sense. You collect 100,000 and then you go, what's that? And move on with your life. So do you utilize adequate record keeping tools to monitor your finances? Then of course, and last but not least, as consultant, what's your average per hour time? What do you charge per hour? Do you have that figured out? What that helps you do is helps you cut down stupid activities. Someone just comes to you and say, come out to partner with you and say, wait. What's the ROI for me? Hold on a minute. I can't just be everywhere. So if you have an hour, what's my hourly rate? Very crucial. What's my hourly rate? So that when opportunities come along, some opportunities, because they are so short term, it might look as if you're not making money. But if you look at it, like let's assume, for example, hypothetically, your business paying 1 million. So do the math. Paying 1 million, you have, say, hypothetically, 20 days in a week. Bam, bam. That would be like 50,000 a day. Is that true? So 50,000, 8 hours, divided by 8 hours. That's, let's just put a number on it. Let's just assume your time is what, let's just put it hypothetically. Let's just say,
6,250.
come again?
6250.
6250, is that the math? Okay, good. So that's what your time is worth now. That's the honest truth.
How much is it?
6250.
6,200.
That's 1 million monthly, if you do the math. That's 6. So now, what does that tell you? If any opportunity comes your way that pays you above that,
6,000.
yeah, I think so, roughly that. And let's just say 10,000, make it easy. Let's assume your time is worth 10,000. You have that number. Now, an opportunity around you comes your way, and it looks like work, but it's going to pay you 50,000 for 3 days work. Really? Should you take it? Yes. It beats your actual business. I don't know if you understand me, but because you are so focused on your own business, how do you be doing? It's not this case paying you. Do you understand me? I don't know if you get the point.
We're building.
No, you're building. But then remember, for you to but you're building, but remember, what you're trying to do now is in your mind, you're trying to make decision making easier. So what we're trying, remember we're trying building process and systems that gets you out of your own head. Your problem is your own head. You're the one drawing yourself back. So making it easy. So numbers, percentages are more or less easier ways to shut down the emotional side and trigger the logical side. Makes it easier for you to make sure on the go. I hope that makes sense. All right, so that's for finances. So now, for your sales and marketing, which is the lifeblood of the business, let's not get it twisted. Your sales and marketing game must be top-notch. Madam T will take this. But the major questions here, do you have a well-defined marketing strategy? Do you? Do you really know how to market? Or you're just catching crews and posting on WhatsApp? Do you have a well-defined market? Do you know how to get customer? Or you're waiting for customers to just come, I recommended you, refer, So when you have your financial template and money comes in, you put the source. So at the end of the month, you will know where the money is really coming from. Now, there are some people in your life, they've sent you so much referrals and you don't honor them. Right? When you look at the numbers, Madam Tony has brought me about 8 million in the last 2 months. And you don't take the time to now partner with them officially. If someone can do that randomly, Why can't you make them an offer to to make it, to grease the relationship, that kind of thing. So, yeah, do you have a well-defined strategy? Do you have partners that can be calling your name in rooms that matter? Do you have a well-defined marketing strategy? What are your current marketing strategy? Can you identify? Can you say it? Can you pen it down, bullet points? What's your marketing strategy? What are the platforms that you use? What can you identify? Or it's just on pure cruise? If it's on pure cruise, that's fine. That's why we're here. To identify and bottom line things. So that now we can now sustainably grow. We know where the problem is coming from. We know how to fix the problem. And then we can now move forward and grow sustainably. Right? And then remember, it's documented. So it's not half work. Right? So now, how well are you using technology to improve efficiency? How well are you using technology? Are you leveraging technology? Or you're doing everything the manual way? You just refuse to learn. I'm old now. I'm in my 40s and my 50s. You know what? What's the cast? I'm just, yeah, I can't do anything anymore. You get? That's it. So have you gotten to that point? Have you plateaued? Right? How well are you using technology to improve your efficiency? How well? How has your marketing strategy evolved in the past 3 years? Has it evolved or is it the same thing? Same thing. Guess what? Almost similar results. You might just have incremental progress every now and then, or you just have those contracts. But really, has your average monthly income grown? Is there a strategy for exponential increase? So what people understand is they keep growing. But what you're trying to achieve, like you said correctly, you're building a business that, as you're doing today's business, you're also trying to build a pipeline that can bring exponential increase. What does that look like for you? Those are hard work, hard questions, right? So how has the business performed in terms of profitability and customer retention? Are you always getting new customers every day? The ones you have, are you retaining them? Have you found a way to get new products that they can also leverage on? Things like that. Where's the business going? Can you reach the point? Can you reach that point with your current strategies? So based on where you're going, can you get to that point with this current strategy, or you need something else, right? And of course, who can you speak with to generate more opportunities to create clients? That's what they call partnership, getting partners on board. Someone that is vibrant, that looks like your kind of person. How can you give them an offer that makes them your ally? I don't know if that makes sense. So as opposed to just trying to figure life alone, why not sit back, take a step back, analyze, look at your network, then see how best you can maximize them. Something as simple as organic marketing, people don't do. Free. What would it cost you to just ask your top 10 friends, please post this for me? Please do this for me. What's the point of the relationship? So for example, I know lots of people, and so let's say I want to market now. Say I have hypothetically 30 friends, and you're my friends, and 100 people view your WhatsApp status, for example. 200 WhatsApp status, maybe 300, maybe 50. Cumulatively, we could say that we could have, say, 1,000 views, unique views, right? People will still not do it. All they care about is to post on their own platform where the same set of people will be seeing it. No, they will not run ads, they will not do organic marketing, and somehow they expect God to turn water to wine. Right? And that's a big mistake. Something as simple as organic marketing, which is leveraging on your existing network. All you need to invest in is what? Invest in incredible graphics that tells the story point blank. Invest in how to write the copy in such a way that a third party can want to buy from you on someone else's profile. I don't know if it makes sense. That's something as simple as organic marketing. Do you have that in place? I don't think so. So now, let's brush through this quickly. Product development. So product development is how many products or services does your business have currently? What are your offers? What do you have right now? Do you have books? Do you have services? Do you have courses? Do you have, what exactly is it right now? At the moment, what do you have going for you? It's important we articulate it. What do you have in the pipeline? Okay, I have 3 books. I have not finished it yet. One thing. That kind of thing. Oh, I'm running this kind of course. I'll finish in the next 2 years. What's in the pipeline? What do you have up your sleeves? And what do you have running right now? Don't fool yourself. What is it? Then, do your product and service have the right branding for your desired audience, right? You want audience that will pay you big figures, but you don't want to invest in branding. Who are you fooling? I don't know if you understand me. This kind of event now, we can as well have had it in one mushroom place, right? But best believe when you see the pictures and videos, you'll be impressed. It's all branding, it's all strategy. As you're here and everybody's comfortable, everybody's happy, everybody's all cute and happy, and you're not worrying about someone coming to like, what are you guys doing here? That kind of thing, right? But are you willing to invest in the right branding? Are they branded? Some people, they are selling books. If you see the cover of the book, it's nothing to write them about. Or an event, if you see the whole thing is all messed up. So do you have the right branding? Do you have a well-defined strategy to identify needs of your target audience on an ongoing basis? So now you're an educational consultant. So obviously your niche is people in the educational space, right? So now how do you identify their ongoing needs? You figure today's own, yes, agreed. What about tomorrow's needs? Do you run surveys? Do you interact? Do you attend events? How exactly do you identify those needs so that you can serve them better? So you can further help them, so you don't go elsewhere. So you be the one-stop shop for them, right? Do you have systems in place to create product and service on an ongoing basis? Do you have systems in place to create, or all you've created is what you've created? You're not writing again. You've written 10 already. Like, I've hit my milestone. Come on. You understand? How would that help anybody? Or do you have time you block for just creative work? Do you have time you block for investing in things that will make you more creative? Or you have just plateaued? So if that is running system to create the new products, new services, new offers, new combo package, a way you can still twist the ones you have and make it new. For consultants, you're not really doing new things in that sense. You're just making it work. I don't know if you understand me. You're just trying to serve more people, the same model, but you can think through it and make it better. And that's it. So now, have you engaged the service professionals to further improve your product in the last 6 months? So now, when was the last time you engaged a professional to help you do anything? You are the alpha and omega of your business. You are the Jagaban, Udogu. I can do everything. I can do everything. When was the last time you engaged someone to help your business? The person is not in your head. He doesn't know your excuses. So the person will come with guns blazing. Why don't you have this? Like, for example, let's not go too far. Dr. T here. It was just like that. Dr. T was like, the coach is just, I don't want to hear that one. No. Can we have it by next week? Go come here. It's not my own business. So you will need that fresh energy coming in because you found a way to make it work. You sat down. You've given me an excuse here. So this one, no, but don't touch this one. Leave this one. This one, don't touch this one. Our marketing. I have someone that's helping this. So you need someone that will just come in, neat, fresh energy. What's happening here? And so it will now not make sense because when you say it will not make sense. It only makes sense in your head. Do you understand? You're like, You're like, sorry I said that. I'll take it back. Do you understand me? So when was the last time you engaged a professional to help you, to support you? You're not a machine. You didn't kill Jesus. The person that killed Jesus said, Jesus freed the person. Now he didn't kill himself. So why would you kill yourself? When was the last time you took the time to identify your needs and go for a professional to support you? If you cannot pay for the professional, can you partner with them? If you cannot partner with them, can you outsource to someone? Must you kill yourself with everything? Don't you want to move forward? So when you do all of this, it helps you articulate all the areas of the business and helps you know the areas you like that comes easy for you and helps you identify the areas that are not so easy for you. So those are the areas you invest in. The other ones that comes easy for you, you grow in them, you develop in them. Areas that don't come easy for you, see how you can partner, outsource, leverage on people that can assist you. So this is a crucial question. When was the last time Last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. And you keep saying you're struggling. Who's the problem? I guess it's you. Right? So now, partnership. This could be the one that could shift you. Partnership. So, look at this. How many profitable partnerships do you have right now as a business? How many people do you have in your space now that are doing similar things that you guys can collab? Or how many people do you have that you want to see how you can penetrate your network? People that have community, or people that you have services for. Instead of disturbing yourself, why not go to the head and try to network with the head and see how the head can help you penetrate his audience? So how many of such partnerships do you have right now for the business? It's not about you now. They don't have to be your friends' friends. If everybody's making money, everybody will be happy. So have you been able to identify those key partnerships along the line that can help you gain more money, gain more audience, access to more people? Have you been able to sit down to look, okay, I'm offering educational consulting. Okay, who are the people that have a community of that I can approach and work with? So the first step is identifying such relationship. Pen it down. That's what I'm saying. This thinking is not a one-day thinking. You'll be having your bath, it will just up. You can't back. You carry somebody. Because it's something that if you have a place, a safe place, Google document that you come into safely, that you can't lose. You come in and keep updating till it will eventually make sense. And eventually it can even turn to a book. Who knows? Right? So have you been able to identify those key partnerships that if you can get 3 of these kind of people, or more, I go blow. So identify them. Then you now move to the next step, which is how do I get them? They might look far-fetched, but what is the value I can add that can get these people to want to partner with me? So that would be like some of your long-term strategies on the side. You're just trying to figure it out. You're trying to attend events they're attending. You're trying to stalk them. You're trying just to make it work. So how many do you have for your business? Have you had any meaningful partnership in the last 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Have you had any meaningful partnership? Anyone that brought you money, anyone that exposed you, that gave you a platform, any meaningful in the last 6 months? If not in the last 6 months, in the last 12 months, in the last 1 year, 2 years, something is fundamentally wrong with your networking and partnership strategy. Most of those relationships will not meet you. You will meet them. Take it from me. You might have to volunteer somewhere. You might have to attend more events. You might have to attend paid events. You might have to go out more often. But believe you me, they will not meet you where you are. Like I told you, Dr. Tia and I, we met Teach for Nigeria. We're mentoring their fellows. They didn't pay us a dime. Right? But Teach for Nigeria is a platform that serves underserved schools. So it's a good platform to, invest a little of your time in just to help them, because they have a good name. It's good for you, also good for them. You add value, their name also adds values to you. So you're not just fooling around. And then boom, we met. The rest is history. But if she didn't volunteer, I didn't volunteer, on a reasonable platform. Note, it's not to be jumping up and down, no. Reasonable, high network platform. It's a waste of time. Because you can never be at home, virtually, connecting. Who cares? Bottom line is, when you attend those high network events, don't go without networking. Where are you rushing to? You're going back to the life you already used to. What's the point? Are you not tired? So most of those partnerships will not meet you. You will go get them. So first is articulating what they look like. Who are the people that embody what you need? How can we get them? That's partnership, right? Do you have a well-defined strategy on how to identify, position, and maximize partnership? Have you taken the time to build your network skills as a business owner? Have you joined any business platform to expand your network in the last 6 months? Have you joined any platform where business owners are the heartbeat of the platform? That could set you up for, constant growth. Have you joined any? So if you genuinely want to be a business owner, you can't escape it. You need to join a community that constantly puts you under pressure. There's no other way. So now, let's dive in. Are we still excited? Are we still pumped up? Am I talking too much?
No.
Am I talking too much?
Not enough.
I'm not talking, oh, that's enough. Okay, beautiful. All right, so now I would start this this SWOT analysis with this little story. So I met a client one time, and the client was in debt, right? Confused, all over the place, nothing working, right? And all we did was what? An audit. Okay, beautiful. What can you do? What skill do you have? And the person was, oh, yeah, I can just write. I can just talking shabbily. And I just caught one thing. Okay, you are an excellent writer, right? Just that, nothing crazy. I'm like, okay, so have you even taken the time to leverage off on that? But you're in debt, struggling. You have time on your hands. All you do is lazy around. And I said, okay, you know what? Let's make this happen. So I used to write back in the day, years ago. So I still had all some of my materials. Gave him that as his proposal. Shared a few contacts with him. And then, believe you me, in a space of 3 months, the guy was making millions, risk-free, for a skill that already exists. I don't know if you understand me. For something that was there. I don't want to talk about big businesses that I've worked with so that I don't lose people here. I'm talking about everyday people like us. Right? So most of the time, if you don't sit down to really look at what's in your hand and to have conversations with someone that can help you see clearly, you would think you don't have anything. And sometimes all you need is someone to just help you shine some light on your skill, give you a platform, give you opportunity, give you what you need for the next level. And believe you me, it will not come to you. You will need to be the one to take this step, right? So now, SWOT analysis, I'm sure it is not a strange concept to us. Basically, the business owner would have covered it. If you do it properly, you have to articulate what are the strengths of your business. Oh, I have 10 decades. I have a decade of education consulting or whatever it is. I'm a great speaker, whatever. The business is, in a growing industry, booming industry, blah, blah, blah. Those are the strengths, right? What are the weaknesses? What do you have? Okay, no support system, no financial whatever. All company files are disorganized, no company policy, no procedures, no network, no partnership. What are the? It's a crowded field. That could also be your weakness, right? What are the opportunities? Opportunities are there's an emerging market, things that can happen around. Then what are the threats? One-man business, it rests on me. If something happens to me, business dies. So you can easily, articulate that. So now, your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. How can you build on your strengths? So now once you identify that, people just stop at SWOT analysis and just leave it there. I just identify it and just went to sleep. No. Rather, we are more focused on how can you build on your strengths. So once you articulate it, how can you build on your strengths? What strategic weaknesses are barriers to your growth? So you've identified the weaknesses, but some parts of the weaknesses are strategic. They will kill you. So you need to outsource it as quickly as possible. So some weaknesses are just normal weaknesses, but there are some particular weaknesses. Let's assume you have poor marketing skill. Outsource that part. Don't play yourself. Because marketing is the lifeblood of the business. Sales is the lifeblood of the business. So if you know that you're struggling in sales and marketing, please, you have to figure out a way around. Those are what strategic weaknesses that will make your business plateau at a certain point. You just keep serving the same people. Nothing will happen. You won't go forward. And you have tendency of going backward. A huge chance. Those are strategic weaknesses. So what are the major external changes that are taking place in your space? What's happening? Maybe in your space now, there are more consultants now. Everybody's just speaking English, doing videos, doing this. Everybody's a known name now. Everybody's, how do I break through this? What are the things happening? So based on what's happening, do I need to now expand to other fields? Do I need to get a niche? Or do I need to, these are questions you need to ask. What threats are imminent and pose a major risk
So what are the threats that imminent and pose a major risk? Okay. Then of course, which opportunities are the most attractive? Where should you focus your resources? So all of these are questions that, it sounds like plenty questions, but really questions are what helps you think logically. So what are the opportunities? Where should you invest your resources? So if you're doing your finances correctly, the business should have money per time. So when someone tells you, oh, come and do this branding for your business, you won't freak out. You'll be like, 30K for graphics, 100K for branding, You won't freak out because the business has money. It's not your money. Business is an entity on its own. So if you do it correctly, you will know where to invest your resources. You will know where to. So now when someone says, okay, come and pay 500K for learning how to write grants, you have the balls to make that leap because you know that when the money comes, it will be groundbreaking. In fact, they will interview you up and down. What interview you're looking for? They will interview you. You'll be tired. You can now turn yourself to grants specialists doing webinars. Do you get? So nobody will fight you because the business has money. It's not your money. Separate it. Business is paying you salary. Let's not get it twisted. You get? So now, based off on this, you'll now be able to articulate, okay, where should my resources go? When I make the first 1 million in profit for the business, I'm going to invest 200K in this. So you have targets for the money. So the money is not just lying fallow. And there's someone like, my leg broke last week. I need money. Do you understand? So you already make commitments to the money. So when I make the next 300K, I will go and learn this. When I make the next 300K, I'll attend this event to meet this person to do this. So it becomes easier for you to channel your resources, right? And they go, okay, you know what? When we make the first million, we're going to invest it in this. I don't know if that makes sense. So those are some of the things you might need to do. If not, you will end up running in circles. And then at this point, 3 years' time, they will ask you, where were you in the last 3 years? And you will look back and be like wondering, where was I? I was in Marriott Hotel, having a good time, drinking a glass of water, Aquafina. Right? So yes, so now, major focus. So we're gradually going into where we call, where are we going? Step 2, remember? So we're done with the, where are you right now? Which is knowing where you are, understanding where you are, and then articulating it and bottom lining it on paper, right? And the idea is, like I said, it's not something you might do. You can do the extensive work today, but over time, it things that you will now keep building on and building on and building on. So now, major focus, goal setting. Where are we going, right? So we have goal setting, which is identifying where you want to go. You are making 2 million today, you want to make 10 million by the end of the quarter, right? That's goal setting. Increase sales from X to Y. Get 10 new unique customers. You know, those are the kind of goals, right? Then goal planning. Then understanding leverage and reasons. Understanding leverage and reasons is, what that means in a nutshell is that when you don't have a reason for certain things, you get tired of it. Like now, for example, if you're tracking your finances now, if you don't have a long-term view of what you're trying to do, you get tired. One day you spend 250,000, you're not happy about it, you know how to write it. You'll be like, I'm not right. In fact, forget this thing. It's a waste of time. You make it make sense. But once you understand leverage and reasons for doing certain things, and the long-term implication and the effect of those things, you most likely will pull through. And you'll be consistent. So the days you don't feel like marketing, you would actually market. Then, of course, seeking accountability intentionally. These are things that you must do intentionally. Seeking accountability on the go, right? Then, of course, goal achieving. So, of course, setting your SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-based. I don't want to dwell so much on this. And, of course, you know what it means to set specific goals. It's not vague goals. You have to put a number to it. You have to put a percentage to it. You have to make it very specific. You have to connect it from the past to the future. So you don't just say, I want to make 50 million. What did you make in the last 12 months? That will serve as a guide. So you can have a goal that does 2x, 3x of what you've already made before. So it makes logical sense. It's easier to approach it from from that light. So if you're making, say, 1 million before, you can say, let's do 5x. Let's do 3x. So don't make it haphazard. You get, so you can do, so when you see the pattern over a period of time, you see how the money has been coming in. You can always say, you know what, let's go for this month, let's go for this quarter be 5x of what we made last quarter, 2x, but never go backwards. Never make it make sense. Even when you are so choked with things to do and whatever, still set reasonable goals that beats the previous month. Then think through how to make it happen, right? So let's move past this. So now, let me dwell more on this. So when you are setting your goals, the mistake people make is they set goals for today, right? Meanwhile, you are running two businesses, today's business and the future business. So if you set goals for only today, you'll be running in circles. And you will be having incremental increases, right? So now, the business you are today, you have to set goals for that, and the business you are becoming. So the business you are today are more like general goals. I want to make 5 million this month. General is everyday goal. I want to increase marketing by this. I want to do this. But now, when it comes to business you are becoming, based on where you're going, you now need to set goals. What new skills do I need to have? What system do I need to put in place? Right? What are the partnerships I need to start pushing myself towards? Right? So that's what the difference is. So people focus more on this, the general everyday goals, forgetting and neglecting this. This is what will bring the exponential increase. This is what will bring, and because big businesses, the way big businesses work, they have a team for this. Their job is this. KPI is this. They have a big team for this one, no doubt. But they have the elite team focusing on the future. They don't waste time on every day. They forget every day. They focus on what? How we can break into new markets. Right? So the business you are today and the business you are becoming. So, like they always say, when you work in your business, you are working on today's income. You are doing today's marketing. You are doing today's marketing. You are doing the everyday stuff. But when you work on your business, you are working on what? Tomorrow's income. I don't know if that makes sense. So, when you are doing the everyday stuff, you are just trying to figure out today's money. And guess what? Today's money can run out. But once you start to put systems in place for tomorrow's money, you better position yourself in the next quarter to make more money. Is that fine? Yeah. Are we still here? Are we still here? Are we still here? Yes. Are you sure? All right. So now this is just a simple goal setting template that you can utilize. I can share this with you later. Productivity template, which helps you keep tabs on multiple projects simultaneously. I don't know if that makes sense. So this, you have your goal for this project. Maybe you have a marketing project right now. You have your project, you have your goal here, then you have the actionable steps you want to take to achieve the goal right here. So these are just simple, project management templates. I can share this on the group later. So of course, it goes on and on like that. You have your week 1, week 2, week 3 for the week. So it keeps you accountable to yourself and to your accountability partner. So this way, based on the goals that you set, based on the action points, you can now decide which week which will fall into. So at the end of the month, you can now look at everything as a whole and see if you really hit your target. And note that all this action will still encompass your general goals and your scaling my business goals, so that you block certain times where you focus on things that cannot bring you money today, but has potential to bring you big money tomorrow. So you must invest time in that. So all of these things, this is like the monthly tracker. It helps you keep tabs on the major activities and when you want to do them, right? Then of course, this can be a daily tracker if you want to go extreme, where you're tracking your daily activities. But most times, it's always better to just not get overwhelmed and just keep it on the weekly. And just, okay, you know what, this week, my action step, based on this, I'm doing this week 1, week 2, just vary it. At the end of the week, talk to your accountability partner or your coach or whatever, and then you guys can have conversations. Why has this not been done? What's the progress on this? Where are we on this? It makes life a lot easier and less complicated. All right? So, of course, also good to have a running to-do list as well. It keeps you as the CEO. It keeps you grounded, right? So, for example, you see that these are general goals, these are financial goals, these are business structuring. It could go on and on. Each block carries different goals. And oh yeah, of course, I can. So each block carries different activities. So assume for this now, business team, you have a business team, business logo, you have business logo, business email. So this helps you know that, okay, I'm trying. I'm not that bad. It's not I have just today's own day that, I've not done anything with my life. It's crazy. The business world is evil. You understand? So this gives you a sense of accomplishment. So instead of modeling up all the goals together, you group them into reasonable structures of what your business is broken down into. So your general goals, your finances. So as you attend seminars like this, different ideas will come into your mind. You come in here and group them into where they need to be.
Is this a
Google Doc.
Is it a daily document you have to be updating?
No, it's not a daily document. It's like your to-do list. It's an overtime thing. So as you have things, ideas, or whatever, come in here, put them.
I use a to-do list in the office. I don't know. I've tried to.
Okay, no. So this, for example, this is like your business running to-do list. So any major task that needs to be done in your business, so you don't lose track and get overwhelmed, right? You need to have a running, and you need to be grouped. The keyword is categorized. It needs to be categorized. So once you categorize it, it's easy for you to keep track and know where you left off things when life comes. The truth is that life will come, distract you, overwhelm you, get you sad. You get so pumped up, you'll be so happy that you forget your business sometimes. You make so much money sometimes you forget that you have a business to build. I just got a contract of 10 million to facilitate the program for 3 months or 6 months. You do that, forget yourself. And after 6 months, you're back to square one. Where's the next 10 million coming from? Right? So this helps you stay on track. And then as you track it, like I said, this gives you a sense of accomplishment. You tick, 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 and it makes your life easy. Right? So, like I said, smart business will be around, smart goals will be around for small business owners. You set financial goals, you set sales and marketing goals, staff development goals, social goals, that's networking goals, growth goals, and building goals. There are growth goals, there are building goals, right? So, of course, now, okay, should I go back?
Yes.
All right, good. All right, so now, increasing your number of your customers, which is something that Madam T will touch more on. So you can just take a story. I just want to move straight into, so increasing your customers. So now, like I said earlier, think about it this way. Is your market growing, right? Can your target market, can they pay for your services adequately? That is a fair deal, right? That's a question you need to ask yourself. So are you doing quality or quantity? Is your profit coming from selling to 100 people or 200 people for you to make reasonable money? Or if you sell to 10 people, correct people, you are fine for the month. You can do both, but it's better to know which one you are well suited for. Because the quantity game means lots of marketing, lots of small offers in bits. So you can make maybe 5K from like 100 people. You know you've made something reasonable. Or you make 100K from 5 people. And you're fine. So is your market growing? Do you have how many customers would you need to satisfy your growth ambition? So for example, you want to make 1 million from this income stream. So does that market have capacity to give you enough people? So how many people would you need to make that money? I don't know if that makes sense. Do you have capacity to add new customers right now? How effective is your sales marketing? Is there a potential niche in your market that you could serve more? And all of that. So let me not dwell so much on that. So now, another thing people also miss is increasing average purchase size. What does that mean? Someone wants to buy, like now you want to buy ice cream. You want to buy Domino's Pizza. They offer you ice cream as attaché. I don't know if you get my point. So now, someone wants to buy your service. What are the add-ons? What are the templates you can sell? What are the extras? So that for that same person, for that same customer, you can get extra with no effort, upsell them to get something more. But all these things are not things you think of in real time. This is your strategy. You have it all figured out. If someone asks for A, I should be able to push B, C, D, and they should be able to buy one of them to further solidify that. And then you should have, for everything you do, there has to be some subtle back end. Do you understand? That way, you increase average purchase size. Do you get? So, are there any opportunities to bundle more products together to make a bigger purchase? What does that mean? Instead of selling one book, can you just bundle 3 books together and slash the price by a bit to make it a combo? So people can buy it. So they have more because it's a service. Either ways, you're not really stressing in that sense. So can you just make a combo, a multiple offer where instead of spending 50K, you can spend 75, and it will make sense. I don't know if you get the point. Okay, go on.
I'm maybe confused about this.
All right.
I'm relating it to my business.
Okay.
And my right now customer.
Okay, good.
My future customer.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
I'm thinking how do you bundle this together? It's a little difficult.
Okay, so it depends. You have to give me insight into what services you offer or what products you sell. Okay.
Most of my customers are international agencies.
Okay.
I do know agencies.
Okay.
And so you don't bundle for them normally. So I'm thinking, how do I now use this concept of bundling? Because they employ you for a service.
Good.
That service is really clear
Good.
based on material,
Good.
in terms of reference.
Good. All right, good. So now, for my company, like EY, we offer multiple services. Audit, tax, people advisory, strategic, transaction advisory, and whatnot. So what happens is this. We can go in as auditors, but we're on the lookout for loopholes that will now bring the other party to. But don't forget that you are the other party, but you can still come in as another person. I don't know if you understand me. And it can still be you. So now, yes, so now based on what they're offering, you already, like, for example, you are creating a relationship with your client. You're trying to have an actual relationship so that you can hear or know what other things they do that you can be well suited for. Or you have someone else that can do something that you get a cut from. So it's just more or less not just being streamlined to, I'm coming to do this. You should be looking at how can I make more money from this same thing? What else can I offer them? Or how can I bring another party if it's going to be difficult as you directly? How can I bring another party that is still me, that you get to come in? Because I didn't know everything. So when we were trying to bring our tax guys in, we didn't know the problem. So just give them, yeah, guys, attack. Close the deal on the spot. So likewise, if you don't want to do you can still always think outside the box, where you have a trusted party that you can bring to provide other services that you will still get. So instead of getting the 2 million or whatever, 2.5 is not a bad one for the same work. 3 million, 6 million, then if it's an ongoing thing, set it up. You get. So it's just your ability to find a way to increase purchase size for the same thing or for the same person. So it's a thing. That's why when you go to some website, Amazon, you are buying a book, they are putting something extra. Yeah. What about this one? What about this one? They are selling you for at no cost. So you yourself as a person, because you are doing it every day, you should also have, for if they buy this one, they most likely will need this. Why can't I do this and give them a subtle discount? So that for the same coming in, I can get more money. So you'll not be greedy. You get. So you're just simply increasing the purchase size. So
Maybe I could also contribute to,
Okay.
to hers. If you're helping them to evaluate, you just find out that the people, you've done their work, and then they don't also know how to do the continuity of the work, and you say, oh, I have a template
Good.
for your department. If you'd like to follow through with this, something like
Extra.
just for rating what you're doing, and it's just this amount. If you add this, it would come in, and so really let's say it. So I don't know how that would work, but
So
it would also
it-
be a book that you have written in that regard. So
After the
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So instead of just having one, you can have 2, 3, 4 behind it and see how you can further leverage them. So you are doing A service, but there should be a B, C, D at the end that you just attempt to upsell. Nobody will fight you for trying to upsell on a D you've already closed. You've closed it already. You've bought the book already. So what's the point? You have it's zero risk. So strategizing on how to achieve your goals. So you have your business goals. You have your focus areas, major initiative, project plans, execution. So what this means is once you have your business goals streamlined, then you decide on areas you want to focus. So you have goals to increase your income from X to Y. Then you have about 10 income streams. So it helps you focus which of the income streams I would like focusing on now, because you can't spread yourself too thin. Spread yourself too thin, you will lose it. And then once you do the time, what's the per hour thing for your time? When you see how small it is, you'll find more efficient to close out the one you already have. Because some people, because you don't have anything to do, you use 10 years to do one tax. Because you don't have other pressing needs. So the tax will just swell up to accommodate all the time. So it's important that when you set your business goals, determine the focus areas, then determine the major initiatives in those areas. For example, my goal is to increase my income from 1 million to 5 million. I decide that the income stream I'm using is business consulting, parent consulting, selling of books. Now, for business consulting, what am I going to do? I'm going to do 3 programs in the next 1 quarter. In the next quarter, 3 major programs of this price. I'm also going to do a coaching series on that's initiatives under just that. So for my book sales, I'm going to speak for free at 5 events or whatever. That's so it goes on. So it goes on from the business goals. You can't do the other ones before the other one. So you go from business goal to the focus area, not everything per time. And then of course, major initiatives inside each of those focus areas. And of course, what's the plan? You decide on what to do, what's the plan? And then of course, pull the trigger, right? And you stay accountable as you go along. So what this planning here is very key. Just like big businesses, they articulate everything to the teeth. So that if you leave today, someone else can take your role and glide in through. So most of the time when people plan, they plan in their heads, right? But the key here is, like I always tell you, we're building a system here. So if you run a program today, you must be able to evaluate the program. What did you do? How much did you make? What were the marketing steps? Bottom line. So the next time you want to run that program, you go back to that document, that process, and rinse, modify, and repeat. So you keep building on an existing thing. So that you don't jump program like boom. Tomorrow you start again, do something completely different. Next month, so you get overwhelmed and you get tired. There's no structure in place. I don't know if you get the point. There's no system, doesn't make any sense. It just stresses you out. So every time so if you do a task there and you feel that much tension, when you don't do it tomorrow, there should be less tension, there should be a level of confidence that comes with, I've done this, I've been down this road before. So by the 5th, 6th time, you can guide other people to doing the same thing. I don't know if that makes sense. So this is majorly the pathway to strategizing. And everything, like I said, still boils down to what? Your business goals, right? So, of course, how to create business and systems, right? So for you as an individual, you will need to, this is just like a generalistic corporate guidance outlook. So now, this, if you look at the top hierarchy of this, is what are your values, your beliefs, and your norms for your business, right? So as an individual, you already know that, okay, based on my value system, I don't cross certain lines, right? I don't do business kind of people. I don't cut corners, I don't do this. So you have to establish that, because as you go along, you'll be tested. Especially because most of the time, the idea is you should be doing partnership going forward, collaborating. So you need to have your value systems in place. You also need to have your management systems in place, which is your organizational structure. Like now, maybe it's just you, or you have a board of director, or you have an employee or something. What does it look like? How do you make your decisions, right? Also, you need your operational systems, which are your financing system, goal setting system, goal tracking system, marketing system, whatnot. Process of hiring people and all of that. The resource management, financial resources, technological resources, human resources, product and services, the market, right? So I don't want to dwell so much on this. Then now, how to have a well-defined and effective marketing strategy. So let's go straight to this. So now for this, to have a marketing strategy that Madam Dr. T will talk about, the major thing to do now is for your marketing strategy, the first thing you want to articulate for your marketing strategy is number one, you need to plan. Where is your target market? Where is your target market? Right? That will inform how you plan. Then, what's the pricing system you want to use for the initiative at hand? Very key. Depending on who they are, depending on the model you're trying to run, what's the pricing system? What platform would you use? Would it be social media? Would it be word of mouth? Would it be referral? Would you go behind to meet someone, to help you talk to someone, or, whatever it is, what's the placement? Then what's the product or service you're trying to offer, right? And of course, how do you want to promote it? Are you going to run ads, organic marketing, or are you going to call people one-on-one to upsell them and sell them on products? And of course, how do you track? Did you do well? Did you not do well? So those are things, if you think in blocks, easier for you to execute. And whenever you get distracted, you know where you stopped. I don't know if that makes sense. Then of course, importance of automated systems, which we already discussed. And of course, like I showed you earlier, the financial automated template that helps you sort out your finances, and that's done. Your job is just to update on an ongoing basis. And then of course, your income analysis, your expenses analysis, and of course, I get to the end of my session.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So do you have any questions?
I thought she was reading up.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay, yes, please. Go on, please.
Thank you very much. Amazing presentation. For me, first of all, for me to share my takeaway.
Okay, of course, please.
It was one thing that really struck for me, and that was the fact that you need to be in more business network groups so that you can be challenged constantly.
Yeah, perpetually, yes.
I'm in this group, and the person who runs the group said something recently, 2-3 weeks ago, that some people have come into the country and they're willing to invest like $10 million into a business.
Beautiful.
And he said something, he said, make sure you have a business with an idea.
Amazing.
Now that hits for me. Okay, so thank you very much. So to my question, so in trying to measure the financial health and financial status of the company,
Okay.
one of the key things that I know that works is trying to look at financial ratios, like liquidity ratios.
Of course.
Ratios and reserves.
Of course.
So now, aside these financial ratios, are there other metrics that you can use to measure the financial health and status of the company?
Okay, so for when it comes to the financial health of a business, it's relative to the type of business, right? And it's relative to what? Your goals, right? So now, if you look closely here, this is a very simplistic template. You see this, this. Okay, good. So this is gross margin right here, right? So now, but for a consulting business, most of the time you're not incurring any expenses in that sense. It's more or less service oriented. And most times when you're even selling books in that sense, only few people these days sell hard copies. Most of them put their book on Kindle, whatever. So most business ratio might not be reasonable in that sense. You just complicate the entire thing, right? But on a very linear route for consulting business, especially when manufacturing, you're producing, you have inventory and all of that funny thing, then liquidity is very important, to know your stock, to know the inventory, whatever. Those are very key and material. However, for a consulting business, keep it very simple. And focus your energy on what matters, which is driving in sales. Right? So if you want to go to that's why if you go to those business schools, they bombard you with all of these things and you don't even know where to pick it from. Do you understand? So if you look at this thing, you will not see this anywhere because this is just a very simple, everyday stuff that just guides you and helps you stay on track. It's just a tracking system. And then because it's data, you can transform into any form you want. So all those things you say you want to do, you can still do it. But start with the basic. Know where the money is coming from. Know where the money is going to. Know the profit. Are you making money or you're catching cruise? Then what's the gross margin of your business? So you say you're offering a service, but then you spend half of your money on expenses, transporting yourself, recharge card, everything. End of the day, you collect maybe, say, $1 million for a contract. You've blown 900. So your gross margin is 10%. Is that really a business? $1 million came into your own hand and you blew 90%. So the major we're looking at really is your gross margin per initiative. I don't know if that makes sense. So if you want to go into liquidity, you want to go to quick ratio, you want to go into inventory days, you want to go into receivable days, payable days, all those funny things, it will just make your life complicated and it's not add value to you. Those numbers most likely add value to investors and all of that. So most of those ratios are most important for people that have manufacturing, people that have big balances or inventory and all of that. So that's where those things will come into play. But major for your finances, keep it as simple as possible. Keep it on the income, keep it on the expenses base, keep it on the gross margin base. So that for every money that comes to you, how much can you retain? Right? And more important, secondly, for your finances, you need to peg your salary. So you can either peg it on an amount base or you can peg it on a percentages base. So even this template will eventually still show you how much of the business you are taking as the CEO, so that you know whether you're growing the business. Because on a very general note, your business should not spend more than 30%. Your running expense should be 30%. So that should be a goal. Your running everyday monthly expense should be pegged at 30%, so that you have a whooping 70% to scale. So if you do your analysis,
Does the 30% include salary?
of course, that's where you grow into. So if you want to set your goal, so that's like I said, that's the way to. You need to have a target. If not, you would just be doing the everyday thing. So right now, today, your monthly expense can be 80%. Agreed, no problem. That's where you are.
But this is for
Standard. 30% should be your running expense, so that at the end of the day, you have a whooping 70%. So when you have that 30% mark, it's easier for you to know the number of staff you can employ, or you can adequately retain, so that when you go into trouble, which you will at certain point in time, you have buffer to shield you off the storm that might potentially come. And then you have enough money to invest in the business and invest to make more money for the business. So 30% should be like a baseline across board, and it's something that you should work towards. I don't know if that ever makes sense. Then, but for consults in general, your gross margin should be way above 50%. Take it from me. Yeah, way above. Let's keep it very simple. But because really, you're not really his brain. You're not really doing anything in that sense. And then also for consulting as well, whatever you middleman, whatever passes through your hand, you must get a cut of it. No, never. Because what you don't understand is because you're running a service, people don't put price tag on it. So whatever passes through your hand, you must have a markup on it. I don't know if that makes sense. So you should have like a markup, say hypothetically, say 30%, 40%, whatever, so that anything that passes through, say you're running an event now and your participant needs something that you want to, that they need from someone that you are brokering. That's also a way to make money as well. Say you're running a school now and then people want to buy you want to buy a uniform and stuff. You just call someone, come and they pay you 50,000. You give the person 50,000. Really? So you are the dummy. You rally everybody up to come and buy a uniform and do stuff. You did everything. You now call someone, you come, carry the money, pay. That's madness. Because at the end of the day, some people are not, they don't even care enough to even say thank you. You get, they will never say take this wine. They just assume it's their right. No courtesy whatsoever. So you have to protect yourself. It's your duty to protect yourself. So whatever you broker, you need to get a cut of it per time. And how do you do that? Have a reasonable markup. Say, hypothetically, I say 30% is fine. But then, if you do anything above 30%, you're doing really well. 30, 10, it's fine. 10 to 30, it's fine. You know, sometimes where you're brokering might be very small. Sometimes it might be 50,000. If you say 10, it might not really be substantial, but a reasonable target should be around 10, 15, 30%. If you're doing above 15%, you're doing well. But at least every service, every product, anything that passes through your hand, it's not a bad thing. That's how businesses work. In fact, when GTBank collect money from Union Bank, they will put an interest on it. Anything at all, the other thing is free in Freetown. You get, so it's not a bad thing in that sense. So also you can get if you feel like your emotion is trying to get best, okay, fine, get a good deal from the seller. Oh, you reduce it because I'm giving you. There's nothing I can do about it, right? Or this is what people are willing to pay, and then so that's also another other income stream for you. Those are, if you see this place, you see where they put other income, random income from things that are not in direct line of your business. I don't know if that makes sense. So these are things that you need to accept and imbibe. It's not a bad thing. It's just standard. All right? I hope I'm going to answer your question.
Yeah, what you just explained now,
Okay.
I want to say something about it.
Okay.
To get date for interview for your visa, American visa, is a lot of work, if we know.
Sure.
Now, you know, sometimes we can be self-righteous. You are like, I want Jesus in me. Don't want to do anything. It looks like sin to you because your emotion is running.
Yes.
Yeah, so I wanted to go for visa interview, and somebody just linked me with somebody, and the person said, oh, for you to get a date, you have to pay. I said, okay, how much? I paid 200K to get a date. I went for the interview. This 200K is not that they are the one that will interview you.
Or say that it is guaranteed that you are going.
So it's not that it's guaranteed though. If you are not giving visa, it's your problem. But your 200K is small.
The 200K is to not make you queue for a long time.
You will queue. But it's for you to
Get
get
the
the
date.
date. Because the dates now are running to 2025. So for you to get a date now, I paid 200K, you know. And so I went for the something, blah, 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 blah. Now, when I came back, I just sat down and I was thinking, how can I pay a whole lot of 200K? Yes, I was giving the visa, but I was like, if they did not give, that's how the boy would come with 200K. And it, so someone was talking beside me and said, I don't even know how to pay a visa date. Oh, no. I said, wait, I am doing that business.
Stand up!
He said, hey, are you doing? I said, yeah, I'm doing that business. I have some guys that they are doing that. It's 250. She said, yeah, I'll pay. Now, what do I want to bring up? One part of me that is only. She was like, oh, and they be that's not good. Want to put money on it. Another part of me says, oh, babe, that's business. So I was talking to the person, but I was communicating in my spirit. Holy Spirit, help me. This is business, cool money. I will not carry you. I will not go beg, not stop.
Let's connect.
Yeah, I just 250. She said, yeah, I'll pay. I said, wait. I quickly chatted with the guy. Guy, I want to bring somebody to you, blah, 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 blah. What's my commission? I never asked. I said, see, it's 200, you do. Me, I've put 50K already. So I'm going to give them the account number. They will pay the money to you, but please, once the money enter your car, do the needful. The guy was like, man, you are too smart. I said, wait first, let's do this business, then we'll talk later. So when the person paid, you know, I try to stay aloof so that you don't think I'm the one collecting your money. I collected them. Yeah. She paid, and my 50K. I said,
Just like that.
Just connect.
so now I'm doing that business. Yeah, I'm doing the business now. As in, I posted on my Insta.
Fantastic.
Any small I post. And I put it there. I didn't put it there, I can get date for you, but I was telling my story.
Yeah.
And people came into my DM and like,
wow,
how did you get an interview date? I said, guy, I paid 200K. Hey, can I pay? You pay 250.
Yes.
Because the guy now has increased his money. Hey, how you do? I'll connect them. But I'll tell the guy, I've put 50K already. On anyone that comes, I put 50K. You know, I'm just saying this so that you see that self-righteous part of our life. Because we are Christians most times, we think, oh, that's a sin. Don't do that. It's not a sin.
It's business. It's business.
How many people are on Igbo?
Nkechi
did not have this phone. She will go to Okelechi, connect,
and
speak
say, my brother has
herself.
It's in my second shop, brother. Okay, so I know we've been sitting for a long time, so it's time for tea break. Can we all stand? So we can start having the tea break.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, we talked about.
Sorry,
Thank you so much. Automating finances. Can you suggest anything to around that area?
Okay, so you can either use automated Excel or automated Google.
But then we can
Google
create a
Excel.
customer.
We can create a automated Excel for you.
So we'll talk on that.
So, yes,
Yes.
so that will just sort out that one for you, and you're out of the loop in terms of your finances. And of course, there's a template for your marketing as well, where you get to articulate what your marketing is like and the processes that you might need to leverage on. You get.
Everything you explained sounded so good for a sitting business.
Yes.
Do you understand what I mean by sitting?
Yes.
And as an established business. Yeah. I got everything you said, but in my mind, I was thinking, I didn't get how does this, how do you correlate this with what you are doing?
Or how would I begin my journey?
Or where do I start from
Exactly.
to be able to network this with what I'm doing?
Okay, it's actually very simple. For example, when I met Dr. Twain, as you can see right here, she told you a story already. She was at the point where business was really not the business in that sense. And business don't make money once, if you know what I mean. So I said, the grandpa just started fresh. And that's it. So like I said, the first step is identifying what do you want first, right? In terms of what is going on. So after analyzing what it is that you have, from that audit, from that diagnostics, we're able to pinpoint the loopholes in whatever it is that you're doing. Bring the entire thing full circle. Then we'll now channel a path towards where the next steps will be. So it's like you can't do B before A. If you do before A, that's fine, you can get lucky. But if you want to really build something sustainable, you have to do the A first. And if you look at the thing I shared, you see the finances, determine where you are in those cadres. From that standpoint, we'll be able to spot. Like I say, people cannot do that sometimes. It's difficult to do it on their own because they will just make it make sense and there will be no value from the information. So that's what Okoti and I did. That's evaluate business, all the company files, company finances, everything were everywhere. I don't know, so she was a perfect speaker.
I was
doing other people's gigs and stuff.
I was
our business, our own business was not a business, if that makes sense. So you're making money, but you're not building it. I don't know if that it's easier for you to just come somewhere and just do that, go back, but you don't have an existing business. So it was more like she didn't have a business in that sense. I don't know if you understand. But now, be able to build that structure, build that support system that helps her now do what she needs to do, but also build her own business in such a way that it can now attract bigger money and thrive and grow on everything documented. Once we're done with this session now, we'll see everything on the evaluation of what we work. So that the next one will be a lot better. So as opposed to doing everything haphazardly, doing everything, there's no end to it. They're just trying to make money. It's not about the money sometimes. You still have to build the business so that the 1 million I'm making today can turn into 5-10 million tomorrow with the actual business instructor. Does that make sense? So it's just evaluating the business and then from that standpoint, determining what the next steps is. So based on your income stream, now able to streamline that into the next steps.
Okay, so sincerely, let me just take it from where Coach Day started to make it very, very bring it to our world because sincerely,
one of the beautiful things meeting him did for me was to now make me to realize that now I have just started business. So we are going to have like 2 other virtual sessions with everybody. So it comes with a package, right, where we will just, your immediate next step is a group meeting that we're going to have. So you need to articulate your immediate next steps. You need to be able to show us, just after this workshop, what exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. We'll definitely communicate on the group. That's the sense of the group. After that 1 month, if you now want us, because having to do the immersion, I mean, Bros of Vegas business is entirely different from your own business. It's entirely, that is now where the main consulting work comes to play. And that's where we have the 6 months boot camp, where, of course, like I said, you have to upsell. Are we getting it? We have to upsell. So
but if you do it right, the workshop is done in such a way that if you get it right, that's why you have myriads of questions.
yes.
There are certain people that can be objective in their head.
Yeah.
There are certain people like that. So sometimes, not everybody needs ongoing.
Yes.
Some people just need, like Dr. T and I initially had to do that back and forth very quickly every time. But at the point, once those things were in place, maybe once a month or once in whatever, you get. So everything still boils down to evaluation. Evaluation would show you what you need. You cannot just assume what you need from the onset. You get. So based on the kind of person, you know that you need incessant support, accountability and all of that. Or you just need that one big goal that will set the tone for the month. And it depends. So you can it's not a one size fits all.
Exactly.
I don't know if that makes sense. But if you really immerse yourself in some of these tasks and you manage to
start taking tea.
you manage,
easier for us.
the next step should show up by
Over
itself.
time. Yes.
It should not be that dramatic.
Yes, so like sincerely for us, when I actually came up with the idea with him, and what he just kept saying was, yes, it's good we start off, let us know. So this workshop is more like revelation. Let us reveal to ourselves what is it that it is that we are not yet doing as we ought to, right? Then will give us some time to go and itemize, outline based on our own peculiar business. So in fact, in the group already, some people started paying for the accountability and coaching before these workshops. So I have Fumi and Anu in the room. I also have my namesake, Mrs. Toy Akman too, has been on the structured coaching and all that. But I will not let the cat out of the bag. She's owing me. When I say owing me, not money. She's owing me a task. For the week. She has not met up. But at least Anu and Fumi have been doing fantastic and we've been able to get a long way to do some amazing things. And sincerely, this is a model that we also want us to replicate. Are you getting my point? This is a model that, so it's good you go through the process of the model so that by the time you are replicating it, it's automated for you, for your own clients. And collectively, we build stronger businesses. Collectively, we increase the GDP of them. So we have a bigger picture. So when I got hold of Tojani, I said, you are not going anywhere forever. You know, that was like the commitment I had with him. And I'm like, you know what? This and this and this and this. And if there's anything that has made our relationship very mutual, it's results. It's whatever, coach, like I said, he's so nice. See, this is lovely. This is the best part of him. And as you have enjoyed it, when he's coming to that side. I mean, it is subtle. It's not, but you must deliver. You must deliver, and that's just a beautiful thing. So when I begin to get to that point where I'm like, if I want to do this, it's like you just have a choice, and it's so subtle. Again, you always feel like he keeps nudging and nudging and nudging and nudging. So you know, by the grace of God, I'm sure this first time again, even if he says go, that's not good. Thank you.